Welcome back to Talk Tuah, our companion podcast to Miss Haliey Welch's Talk Tuah. We're your hosts. I'm Cam.
And I'm Pete.
And today we are covering episode 8 with guest Josh Richards.
That's right. This was something of a blockbuster episode with Josh Richards, who is a bubbly 22-year-old who does social media. He's been in the social media game for some time, has worked his way up to the ranks of a Barstool Sports commentator. I mean, he's got the BFFs podcast with Dave Portnoy.
He's an American entrepreneur, and he's zany for sure. I think at his heart, Josh proved to us during this podcast that he is a conversationalist. Right?
Yes.
He kept the train moving with Haliey and Chelsea.
Yeah. And it's no strings attached. I mean, he's there to have fun and have a good, chill conversation.
He likes to let loose.
In fact, we learned that this is the second conversation that he had with Haliey Welch. Apparently, they had a first attempt at an episode recording that is now lost media. I'd love to see this footage out there someday, but...
The celluloid is burned up, Pete. It's gone, man.
I mean, currently it's under wraps. I don't know where it's being kept or stored, on what hard drive, on what computer, where, but unfortunately that first attempt at a podcast episode, I guess Haliey wasn't feeling it. She wasn't quite comfortable talking to a male guest yet.
Because keep in mind, Josh is the first male guy she's had on the podcast. She's had on Wiz and Mark Cuban,
who we've covered, but
billionaire tycoon philanthropist.
Yeah, we've covered the episodes with Wiz and Mark, but those came later in the catalog. We've been jumping around, and now we're jumping back to the first appearance of a male guest, Josh Richards.
And this was a seminal episode. I mean, a lot went into it, right? So it only makes sense that the girls, or at least Haliey, was a little nervous, but that's okay because she got a hold of her nerves.
Yep.
And I mean, she's... Well, I was going to say, we had a strong open.
Yeah, I was going to say, strong, exciting open, promoting Roco. I believe it's Row.
Row Company.
Yeah, or it's Row.co. The co is for company? Because I wasn't sure if it's like Row.com, but now the trendy thing is to cut the M off of the domain.
Well, whatever it is, it seems like it's super convenient for the customer. Yes. Right? I mean, I think it's a more cost-affordable kind of...
Ozempic?
Yeah.
It's like a weight loss drug.
I mean, it's shipped to your door super conveniently.
Yeah.
No one has to know. I think they can kind of conceal the package. The code is still Talk Tuah.
Yeah.
So
there's one detail to this ad read that stood out to me. Do you remember?
Yes. You want to say?
Yeah, sure. So Chelsea was quiet this one.
She woke up on the wrong side of bed.
Yeah, she was fed no lines. I don't know who wrote the script on this ad read, but they just kind of had Chelsea there as a body, as an extra on this ad read. And I don't know. I think it put her in a bad mood. She probably wasn't feeling it.
Well, you could see from kind of, she's grimacing.
Yeah.
She's visibly upset. And I think
I'd be too.
It's clear that she went into it with no lines. Because again, I don't think this was a situation where she had lines and they were cut.
No.
Because she would have been cheerful, herself.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea's had a complicated history with ad reads.
Yeah.
With I think Mark Cuban one, she was playing on her phone, that one ad read on Doodle Jump. But I think she's great with Haliey. She's a great foil to that energy, especially when they're kind of marketing products and stuff.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, later on we'll get to it, but there were other ad reads where she did have speaking lines, and it was a world of difference.
Totally
Different Chelsea.
Well, we're back in the studio. Minimal complaints from me, except I will just briefly mention the Superwoman painting that's kind of in the upper right-hand corner is cut off at the triceps. We don't really get to see the face.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is more on the camera team or the art department. I think, you could get a props production assistant to kind of come in and maybe lower that, with the set decorator's blessing. But I know it's political.
Yeah, but quantitatively speaking, I think this might have been the tightest episode yet formally. Like, I think they were firing on all cylinders, very few hiccups throughout.
Yeah.
There was, one or two, zoom adjustments or headroom adjustments.
There was definitely a sloppy tilt camera up at one point.
And there was one editing, I don't know if it was a glitch. I don't know if something happened in the timeline on the project.
Oh, I know what you're talking about with Haliey.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will get to these. But overall, I felt they really tightened a lot of the loose screws that we've encountered in other episodes. I mean, the Talk Tuah with Haliey Welch neon sign behind them in the centerpiece of the show. We've talked about the exposure, it being super blown out other times. This time, there's a little bit of bleeding between, I think it's the E and the Y in Haley's name, where the light is still kind of blurry. I don't know.
If they could tone that down just a stop or two. Or
it might just be an issue with the sign too. Maybe like more spacing between the letters there would help, so they don't blur into each other.
Hey, I'm down to go back to the TV.
Yeah, TV was nice.
That was fine with me. Maybe they could implement a sign like this.
Yeah.
More of a physical prop.
But I just want to give props to the team for the tightest episode formally yet on a quantitative level.
Well, I think going into this episode, maybe the other departments were inspired by the grip and electrical department from episode 7 with Miss Brianna Chicken Fry and Grace O'Malley.
Yeah, we gave them their credit. I mean, they made some incredible decisions.
They run a tight ship.
Yeah, they did.
And maybe they were able to kind of, round up the other departments and just say, look, you either better behavior or you're off the team.
Yeah. So now we got the formal things out of the way. I guess we can talk about the people this episode. We have Haliey, Josh, and Chelsea. Haliey and Chelsea are the mainstays. We
have a woman
stars
in the back. She has a couple speaking lines. We don't know who it is.
That's true. Someone off screen, never see her.
I don't know if Jamie is present in the room. Haliey and Chelsea's manager.
Yeah. I mean, Josh this episode was rocking a cream forward outfit, pretty cream heavy, cream hat, and then a cream shirt.
He was creamed up, but also his cream iPhone right out on the table blatantly.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredibly disrespectful. I have to say it.
But I do wonder if this color coordination had anything, was inspired at all by Brianna Chicken Fry's color coordination in the previous episode, where she was it was a pretty tan heavy outfit that she had. She had a tan White Sox hat and then like a tan hoodie. I don't know if this is Barstool Sports sending their employees with these color coordinated outfits, but I think it's nice.
Well, Grace definitely, was an offshoot of that. So maybe that was kind of her foreshadowing look. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be
playing by Barstool's rules.
And she left her tenure at Barstool, right? She's working with Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy.
Yeah, other former Barstool employee.
So they're going to make an incredible podcast. We're still mourning the loss of Brianna Chicken Fry and Grace O'Malley's split up.
Yeah.
That's been hard on us, but...
That's been tough. But, I mean, you take it as it goes. Each day is different.
The only... consistent thing in life is change. I think someone once said that.
Yeah. And don't smile or don't cry because it's over, but smile because it happened. I think that was Dr. Seuss.
That was Dr. Seuss. And also I just want to really briefly point out that there was an incredible audition happening behind Chelsea this episode. I wonder if the woman got the part. It looked like a woman, because, we've seen paparazzi, we've seen extras behind Chelsea in what at one point was a Nordstrom rack.
Yeah, they set her up right in front of these glass panes that you see out into the foyer of the surrounding area, wherever they are in this WeWork.
Which is incredible, because when I'm watching a podcast, I want to watch a woman read off sides.
Yeah, behind one of the stars of the podcast.
For Fiddler on the Roof or whatever. But, it's this woman with a piece of paper, and she's very obviously auditioning for something.
Yeah, she's pretty theatrical in her gestures. She's like... There must be some kind of obstruction between her and the glass panes behind Chelsea, because you just see the slivers of her face peeking out from behind this other barrier.
You said it almost reminded you of the Janus Films logo.
Yes, it did. Maybe she was auditioning for one of those.
For Criterion.
Yeah.
To be on the Criterion
It's quite possible.
There were a lot of mic bumps.
Yeah.
On this episode, I have to say it.
Josh was, he was pretty mobile. He was a mobile guest.
I think he was territorial, too. I think he used them pretty defensively. He would deploy a mic bump when maybe he got into an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, he would brush up against the guardrail, essentially. Yeah.
For sure. And, I mean, that wasn't the first... we'll get to it, too. He was calling a lie. But let's start off with the course of the conversation. Haliey called her fan base hawk suckers.
Yep.
What do we think about that? What was your take on that?
I mean, I think last episode they were debating whether we should be called princesses, as the name for the fan base. Lady Gaga has her Little Monsters, Bruno Mars has his Brunettes, and I think with this Hawksuckers, I think I see what she's going for. I mean, combining the idiom from that fateful night of hers, and I guess it is just all about that idiom from that fateful night. But I don't see how much it doesn't derive much from the show itself. So I think it would be a misstep.
I was thinking maybe talk suckers.
Yeah.
If anything.
I think it would be more tasteful for listeners of this podcast to be, associated with the podcast itself, not from some other happenstance occurrence.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I think it was interesting, Haliey's confession that she said she liked talking to women more.
Yeah.
Josh said he was excited to come on the pod. We know he's the first male guest.
Yeah, you're excused.
I think sometimes in guys talking,
yeah,
my Pookie at least has said, maybe it's like talking to a rock.
Mm.
And when two girls are talking, they're having all kind of conversations on all kind of levels.
Yeah, illustrious, illuminating kind of discourses.
I mean, is it like talking to a rock right now with us?
No, I think we produce some vibrant conversations. I'm glad we.
I don't know if we're
as
I don't know if we could compare ourselves to the conversationalist Josh Richards.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that guy's in a league of his own. But we're still new to the game. I mean, he's had years of experience, and hopefully we'll get to his league.
Now, Josh, he escaped a little lie.
Yes,
and we're finally getting to it because he said earlier on the podcast that he hadn't seen the show.
Like Haliey asked him, would you be considered a hawk sucker? And he said, I haven't actually watched the show. So when he was pressed on it, he admitted that he didn't come to this recording, having studied the material.
He was pretty ill prepared.
Yeah.
But the lie squeaked out from his lips when he said that Whitney Cummings was a guest on the first episode. He brought that up. And Josh, how would you know that if you don't watch the show?
Yeah. I think either maybe he thought he could just get away with just reading the thumbnail. But look, Josh, podcasts are more than the thumbnails and the titles and the whatever else you'll have. But you won't really understand what it means for Whitney to be a guest on Talk Tuah unless you listen to episode 1 of Talk Tuah.
It was a labyrinth of conversation, but Josh did dig his way out of it.
Yeah, he did.
Using flattery as a tactic. He just insisted that, no, don't worry. Talk Tuah, actually, Haliey and Chelsea, this is the greatest show ever. And they bit.
Yeah.
They stopped pressing him about the lie.
Yep.
So he knew that all he had to do was, a little carrot on the stick.
Insert a little bit of flattery. Yeah. Now, he did also let slip that he's very eager to listen to himself on this episode. He said later on that he doesn't really listen to his episodes of his own BFF's podcast, but that he's very excited. Like he mentioned earlier, that he's very excited to listen to his episode with Haliey, which I don't know if that was just another piece of flattery.
I don't know if he's in a nascent stage of solipsism or what, but it could also be a sprinkle of narcissism.
Yeah.
But I'd be careful to throw that word around because remember, Josh is an expert on social media. When you're on social media, you're posting pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
So I think to him, it's more a business thing.
Your image is key. Yeah.
Right? Because when he goes on his social media, it's boom, him.
Yeah.
When he's listening to something, him.
Yeah.
I'm sure when he goes home to watch a movie at night, he just has AI make like a cool Josh Richards movie.
I'd love to see those.
Yeah, I bet they're incredible.
Yeah. So we also learn that Haliey would pick the bear over the man. There was this, I think it was a question going around social media like a month or two ago about posing to women if they were in like the woods and they had to pick between an encounter with a man in the woods versus an encounter with a bear. A lot of women would actually go with the bear. They'd take their chances with a bear rather than a rogue man. And Haliey is on Team Bear. Josh fell on Team Man, I think. Josh was like, that's ridiculous. A bear would charge at you, would easily maul you, would take you down in like a couple seconds.
I mean, he's seen The Revenant. I mean, that incredible scene with Leo getting his teeth kicked in by that grizzly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy encounter going up against a bear. And Josh was keenly aware of that. Haliey, I think, took note there. I think she came away thinking, okay, bears are scary too.
She did. And look, we got into what I found some of the most riveting conversation of this episode when So Haliey and Chelsea, kind of to set this up, they were talking about how them talking to Josh on this podcast was philosophy. Like they were like, oh, we're like Greek philosophers, whatever. Or Josh said that, sorry.
Yeah.
They didn't know who Plato and Socrates are.
Yeah.
And he made this big stink about it.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, you guys don't know, Plato and Socrates?
Yeah.
I'm like, buddy, who are these guys rationalists that drew triangles in the sand?
Yeah.
I don't really care about that. I don't think anyone knows who these, old heads are.
Well put.
Right? Because then they also, Haliey was like, I'm a big fan of Shakespeare. And then she was like, that to me is a philosopher.
Yeah.
And then Josh said, that's not philosopher.
Yeah, Josh tried to cut her down on that.
Clearly someone's... Here, tell me you've never seen Hamlet without telling me you've never seen Hamlet.
Yeah, tell me you don't know about the ethics of forbidden love in Romeo and Juliet. I mean...
What is King Leopold's ghost?
Yeah, what
is
is...
that nothing to him?
Yeah, what is storytelling if not a philosophy of humanism?
Right, and Romeo and Juliet... I mean, that's a love story that's kind of morphed that thought, it's feeling, it's, Plato and Socrates, what, they figured out voting?
Yeah.
You're telling me no culture before ancient Greece figured out voting. That seems like anthropologists' dirty little secret.
Yeah, I didn't know that people could split themselves up into two groups depending on their difference in opinions.
Right, because is that not technically considered a vote?
Yeah.
Well, I guess in the Western world, right? According to Josh, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, he wants to always recycle these old hags, these guys who drink hemlock in their last days. I'm just like, come on. There's more recent philosophers like Shakespeare. I mean, philosophy's all around us.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want to go back to the old hags is up to you.
And I'm sure Josh has seen a lot of cool philosophy on Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of thoughtful posts, but... Look, Plato and Socrates, that's not going to cut it anymore. I think those ideas are a little outdated.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have triremes anymore.
No. It's like keep bumping shoulders with Pythagoras if you have to. But, I mean, I'd rather look to Instagram now.
War is fought with drones, not fucking little spears.
Yeah.
Crap like that.
No more phalanxes. That's bullshit.
No, and it's, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I'm definitely put off by guys who assert more of a majoritarian direct democracy, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
I mean, spending most of your time convincing people how to vote for your thing rather than take everyone's views into account.
Yeah.
I don't really like the way that they governed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right. I can see where you're coming from there. What did you make of Josh's rather pessimistic view of comment sections online?
Josh, he definitely read as a nihilist there.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the Plato and Socrates coming out, right? The world is this big, scary, the cosmos.
I think it's actually more Nietzsche, maybe.
Has he posted on Instagram ever?
I mean, I think people sometimes post his quotes. I think I've seen a couple of those.
Well, listen, I mean, his whole thing was if you dig deep enough in the comment section, you're only going to find hatred and despair.
Yeah.
Haliey said if you dig hard enough, that you can find love, true love, in the comment section, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if Josh is a fan of, Cormac McCarthy's work.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of which centers around this kind of diabolical love or diabolical hatred that's, immortal.
Yeah.
Someone like Judge Holden, a character like Judge Holden.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There can only be one dancer.
Yeah. Now, I think it's worth, talking about Josh's origin story. I mean, he talked a bit about how he started out doing social media, and that developed into him doing a diss track against Lil Huddy. I'm a bit unfamiliar with Lil Huddy, but this diss track apparently, got him discovered by Dave Portnoy.
Well, Portnoy has a love of diss tracks.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that when Miss Chicken Fry and Zach Bryan broke up, Dave released an incredible diss track
with Josh. They actually duetted on it.
They teamed up.
Yeah. And so then, he'd been podcasting with Dave for a bit, and then he mentioned that he's now working with Chris. There's a Chris out there that now he's working with after working with Dave.
Didn't give us a last name, but I can assume it's someone in the social media industry, maybe?
Josh talked a lot about how he did social media, and I don't know. I mean, it's reaped him a lot of rewards. Hell, it got him on Talk Tuah. That's exciting. And it looks like
zenith, yeah.
He's really making the most of it. I mean, he's there just to have fun and have a good conversation. So then, so we got his origin story. What else do we get?
Well, right after that, we went into the Better Picks ad, where this was an incredible moment for Chelsea because she got a speaking line.
Yeah. It was great to see her a little bit perked up.
Yeah, and you know what? These Better ads are always consistent. They're juicy, they're crunchy. Yeah. Not much to complain about there. No. Better's, sponsoring the show. Obviously, it's because of Better that the whole production is possible. They're doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and you can just feel like the value of the product and the fact that both Chelsea and Haliey were just excited to talk about it. They seemed happy. They had grins on their faces, and it was just nice to see them collab on this ad read for Better.
The code is still Talk Tuah, and they that little jingle at the end was incredible.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
They sang together at the end.
Yeah. Got a little bit of a nice little chirp out of both of them.
I mean, if you were to go back and compare Haliey's ad reads, from episode, 2 with Granny.
You want to rank them or?
No, but how far she's come.
Okay, yeah.
I think there was intensive editing in the beginning. She was kind of going into it.
Yeah.
How do I do arts or ad reads tastefully? How do I put the time and care in that they deserve? And we've definitely seen her level up.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a nice progression from episode 2 to episode 8 now.
But Dave big dogged Haliey through Josh when she asked if she sent him friendship bracelets, would he wear them? And Josh went as far as to say he would open up the package.
Yeah.
He'd give her that.
Pretty much like a dead end there. What, he would just put the package down on the table?
No, keep in mind, Dave is a man that, we've said this before in the past, but he crushes podcast labor unions with his fists.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I mean, he doesn't give an F.
No. He crushes podcast or PC culture. Oh, that's funny. I never thought
destroys PC culture.
Is PC short for podcasting? It just doesn't matter to Dave because he'll crush either one.
But I actually wonder, because Dave said he had a lot of advice for Haliey and her doing her show. Josh was saying that, Dave mentioned, if this was on my network, I would be doing this. I would be doing that.
Yeah.
But guess what, Dave? Haliey's not on your network. I wonder if there's some hurt feelings. Maybe he tried to poach Haliey.
It's possible.
For his own, maybe Barstool. Couldn't strike a deal.
Yeah.
Do you think that's in the realm of possibility? Do you think that's far-fetched? Am I saying a tall tale?
No. I think that's definitely the vibe I got. It just seems like Dave's trying to do some armchair coaching. Is that what it's called? Or armchair commandering, where he's just trying to, coach from a distance. He doesn't have any skin in the game, so he's, just shooting out all these recommendations. I don't know if maybe he's actually trying to sabotage Haliey. I don't know what his motives are, but it seems like he's just watching the one that got away, and he's thinking, oh, I could have done that better, or, oh, I want to take her down.
Well, look, I don't know how much time Dave would have had to kind of coach her. I mean, he's got a lot of pizza places to review for his series.
He's got a lot on his pizza plate.
So, there's a lot of pepperoni yet to be ranked on social media. So let's get that cracking. Haliey said that Grace O'Malley is like a try not to laugh character.
Yeah. No. Didn't she say that about Brianna Chicken Fry?
She said that about Grace.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure she thought it about Brianna, but...
I mean, they were both uproarious guests on episode 7.
When I looked at them, I thought of the, stormtrooper that was, just air humping to the Benny Hill theme song.
Yeah, that classic try not to laugh character. I mean, apparently, Haliey just had trouble not laughing anytime she looked over at them in episode 7.
She was pretty stoic the entire time, so I wonder, maybe she really... kind of practice not breaking.
Got one hell of a poker face. What else we got?
Well, I was going to move on to around 8:37.
Yeah.
That was when we saw the Shimmer monster from Annihilation. You speculated it might be Norman Bates. Behind Chelsea. Look, we got to get curtains.
A lot of just figurines in the through the glass panes.
Can we just get that section boarded up so we can focus on Chelsea when she's doing the rapid fire questions? I don't want to be looking at extras.
Yeah, you already have her in the third seat. Let's, give her the attention that she deserves. Let's make sure that she's not getting divided attention, losing out some ground to these these figures behind her. I mean, it is awfully distracting, and anytime it cuts to her, I just want to be able to zero in on what she has to say, but it's just, we have all these, disturbances behind her.
Because there's important things to pay attention to. Like, for example, around that timestamp, it was revealed that Josh has not seen the Menendez brothers series on Netflix.
Yeah.
That was a shock because, again, coming on the podcast, not doing your homework.
Yeah.
Not having had, it was kind of awkward.
Well, and it backfired because he came out of this the first Talk Tuah guest to be assigned homework. I mean, Haliey told him, you got to watch this show.
Haliey threw it right back in his face.
Yeah, she said, you didn't want to do your homework beforehand? Too bad. Now it's due tomorrow. And so I hope he goes home and watches some Netflix that night. He went home and watched Netflix that night. Because, apparently this Menendez brothers documentary, keep in mind, neither of us have watched it. So we haven't quite done our homework. But Haliey mentioned that it's not so much about the case. It's more about the brothers, which is interesting. That's an interesting take on two figures who are famous because of their criminal case. I wonder what Netflix was... what kind of route they decided to take in depicting these two.
But I have my full faith and trust in Netflix. They've been doing a spectacular job with their original series and content library. It's been rapidly expanding.
Yeah. It's really, they have something for everyone, and apparently they have something for fans of the Menendez brothers apart from their court case.
And apparently they're going to start writing writing action into dialogue.
Wow.
Right? And apparently they're going to start writing action into dialogue, which definitely helped for me trying to listen to a, Netflix series of original awesome content while watching some of my favorite podcasts.
Yeah. And keep in mind that Josh actually, the series seems perfect for him because he says that he knows nothing about the case. So I actually am wondering if maybe Josh is angling to get the role of a juror in like an upcoming depiction or biopic of the Menendez brothers. He would be perfect for that role.
Well, maybe he should audition for it outside Chelsea's.
Yeah, that would be
window,
perfect.
Where they're reading sides for it. They really got into Josh's partner, Gabby.
Yes, she seems lovely.
The 10-minute mark. Yeah, she's from Brazil. Josh said, okay, so I'm going to break this down.
Yeah, please
Josh said they had been talking. She came from Brazil, and then they met up. How did he meet her? Was this like a pen pal situation?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Maybe, it was just following. He was doing social media someday and saw that she was doing social media and decided to extend an olive branch or just, reach out, send a friendly hello, and then maybe caught wind of the fact that she was coming to LA. And then he invited her to his birthday party, which was a really nice first step to meet someone in public for the first time. And they ended up going to Dave & Buster's.
That was their first date, and I think that was an incredible way to introduce Gabby to, the United States, its culture, learn a little bit about its people.
Yeah. Felt that this was a pretty male-heavy episode for Josh breaking the male barrier as the first male guest on the episode. They're talking already in the first 10 minutes about Plato and Socrates, the Menendez brothers, now Dave & Buster's. This was an episode of male duos.
Now, Gabby had around 9-10 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
He said. Do you think he would have still been interested in her if she didn't have that many followers?
As someone who's committed to doing social media, I'm sure he takes those numbers pretty seriously. I'm sure they weighed pretty heavily in his calculations, but I don't know. He seems like a pretty down-to-earth guy. I'm sure he probably...
if her Insta maybe only had a couple hundred, but then her Snapchat, she had millions of followers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he probably would have felt just as comfortable.
Okay. Well, he is confident in this relationship. And,
yeah.
Haliey was asking where Gabby was. He said, don't worry about it. She's at a church group with her friends.
Yeah.
They have a very loyal relationship. He was saying a lot of people DM her daily.
Yeah. She's constantly fielding these messages.
But they have a strong relationship. And if she's able to focus on church group with her I don't know who these friends are, but I'm sure that they, are great people.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll wrap the episode with Haliey, and I'm sure they hung out after they caught up. Him and Gabby got dinner or something, and I'm sure it was a nice afternoon for both of them where they all got some alone time each.
And then Haliey actually started talking about her own man, Pookie, who we know the identity of, but at this point in time, the general audience didn't know.
Yeah, at this juncture, it was still unknown who Pookie was. Haliey was still holding it over everyone's heads, this little secret of hers. And everyone was eager to know, including Josh.
Well, Josh didn't really approve of it, though, right? He was saying that it was almost weird, the way kind of Pookie was like, oh, don't worry about putting me online. So Josh's angle was, what are you trying to hide?
Yeah, he played a bit of a devil's advocate. He said, is it not weird that he doesn't want to be revealed? Is it weird that he does not want... I might have the syntax there incorrect. Look, he was posing...
He doesn't know the history, though.
Yeah.
Of Pookie's demon ex.
Yeah. Josh is all over here just trying to get Pookie to be revealed. That's his top priority. He's trying to guilt Pookie for, taking his time coming into the limelight. But he knows nothing. He's so naive about the circumstances between Pookie and Haliey where, Pookie had this, dark period where he regressed back to this evil ex from the depths of hell when he could have had his shot with Haliey. But then he came around, he realized his sins, and he atoned for them, and now he's with Haliey, and Josh knows nothing of this. He doesn't know that putting Pookie in the limelight could just as easily bring this demon ex back into the picture.
Wench.
Yeah. This ex who thrives off of jealousy and bitter feelings and just...
Look, Pookie's a good guy.
Yeah, that's all the story needs to be. Is Pookie's a great guy, and he got revealed when the time was right.
And Haliey said that Pookie was kind of like her Build-A-Bear.
Yes,
which I found that very telling. The fact that she, I guess, would even choose a bear if it was Pookie.
That was sweet.
I like that moment.
Yeah.
What else do we got?
Haliey actually spoiled Pookie and Chelsea's man. She got them tickets using Game Time to, I think, a Tennessee game. I don't know if that's the Tennessee Titans. I don't know if there's
Tennessee
other...
Volunteers, maybe? I don't know what they
are. Yeah, the Vols or something. Yeah.
Things got nasty, though, between Haliey and Chelsea. They sparred a little bit.
Yeah, where, Chelsea was saying, you've spoiled Pookie. And then Haliey's like, oh, I spoiled your man, too. I put these two boys up in the Airbnb as well. I mean, it seemed like there was a little bit of clash over finances. Seems like Haliey's been, handing out some gifts using her podcasting platform and the revenue it's brought in.
I mean, it's tricky, though, because we don't know the full details of their financial situation. We don't know how much Chelsea's being paid, if she's being paid.
It's true.
As much as Haliey, right? I mean, these are serious things to take into account. Look, Chelsea... if she's offered a permanent co-hosting position, I'm still in the camp that she should reveal her Pookie.
100%.
She doesn't want to get into the personal nitty-gritty of her life, like Haliey.
Yeah.
So if Haliey is making the big bucks, maybe it's because she revealed Pookie.
Yeah, and hell, I mean, if Haliey's taken or paying for Chelsea's man's tickets to the games, I mean, I think it already warrants a reveal. And I don't know what's holding Chelsea back, but hopefully it comes soon. I'd love to see this reveal.
There is a awkward kind of sensation of debt there that's forming. You don't want to have debt with friends.
It's true.
You kind of want to avoid this type of thing. I mean, debt can be a nasty, nasty thing.
It can weigh heavily.
But, I do think Haliey is more from the gift-giving culture.
Yeah.
Right? I think so. I don't know. I think it was just a nice gesture, and maybe it got blown out of proportion.
It's certainly magnanimous. So then we also get the moment where Josh gets snarky when Haliey can't quite recall a joke.
Around 15:23, right?
Yes. So Haliey, she goes back to talking about comment sections being funny. I guess she posted something on Snapchat where she and Chelsea were singing along to the Sabrina Carpenter song, and she added the caption, like, the song is so addicting, it has like crack in it. Or no, this song is more addicting than crack. And someone chimes in, some unknown spectator comments on her Snapchat story saying, your mom didn't think so. Famously, Haliey's mother has had struggles with crack addiction, and this was a bit of dark humor. The voice off screen that we mentioned earlier, this woman chimes in to say, that's dark humor. She identifies it right off the bat as dark humor.
She's clearly seen BoJack Horseman. She understands.
Yes, but Josh, he got snippy because Haliey at first could not remember how the joke exactly went. She had to pull out her phone to, probably pull up the Snapchat story. But when Haliey was struggling to get to the punchline, he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to hear the actual joke if you have it." So that was weird. And then
I think it was a little more than weird. I think it was just telling that if you don't know the full picture, again, this is like the Pookie thing. Josh, get all the details before you can figure it out, right? With the Menendez brother, they don't take just one thing and say, "Oh, these guys did it. These two twins did it."
Yeah,
you know, let's look at all the details. Forensics, Josh.
Yeah,
right.
It's important.
But he's not the biggest Glorilla fan. We learned that. I guess I'll hit you with some fast facts about him.
Yeah, please do.
We learned he's 22. He's from Toronto. Not sure if he's a fan of the Six God, but he doesn't get ratchet to music.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some fast facts.
I think he keeps it pretty professional.
Yeah. He actually misheard Haliey. She said, so you don't get ratchet to music or something? He's like, yeah, I don't get right to Glorilla or something like that. Chelsea had a laugh at that. That was a fun moment.
It was a language barrier, but that was on Haliey's part, but he paid back the favor when he was later in the episode talking about pasta. We found out he's quite the culinary guy. He likes to make deviled egg burgers for his girlfriend Gabby.
That is, in fact, tiny beef patties sandwiched between two deviled eggs.
Which maybe he saw that recipe on Instagram.
Probably Bon Appetit's page.
But, the way he pronounced pasta, he said pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta. And Haliey and Chelsea had no effing idea what he was talking about. It was mumbo jumbo.
I didn't either.
I was very confused.
Well, he talked about it being like a dish that he eats with Gabby, and I thought maybe this was like a Brazilian dish when he said it like that.
Pasta.
I thought it was like maybe something like paella, although that's from Portugal. I mean, Spain is more paella, and Spain, dominated a lot of the rest of South America. Portugal got Brazil in that raw end of the deal. But what else did we get?
Well, I think that's a nice segue into, bringing back Gabby into the conversation. How did Josh hard launch Gabby? That was one of Chelsea's fast facts.
Yes.
He was posting a lot, hanging out, and then it kind of just happened when he was talking about it on his podcast.
Yeah. And he took this question to, steamroll the conversation a bit. I mean, he let up with that hard launch, answer, but then he immediately started telling this whole convoluted story of the first time he asked her to be his girlfriend. Went on and on. He didn't quite have all the details. He was like recollecting them as he was telling the story.
It was quite the soliloquy, which kind of strikes me as odd given the fact that he didn't think Shakespeare was so influential.
Yeah.
He's clearly been touched by his work.
Yeah. Now, hold on a second. I think we should just hit the lights for the audience real quick. It's getting dark here.
Haliey's next question to Josh was how he felt about marriage.
Yeah, and he gave an interesting answer. I mean, he said that he's thought about it when he was younger. And when he was younger, he always has had it teed up in his head that he'd get married between like 28 and 30. And then more importantly, it seemed to him that he would have a kid like right away. Like he repeated, like he'd said, like right away.
Cool. I mean, he was pretty confident that he'll still look great at 30. He said he'll look pretty much the exact same.
Yeah, pretty confident that he will still be a DILF. Because Haliey prodded him on that. She was like, 30? I don't know. Are you going to still be in DILF territory at that age? And he was like, yeah. He really thought, he thinks he will be.
He felt very sure about it. And then next we got into Josh proclaimed that his favorite guest on his podcast was comedian Theo Vaughn.
Yes.
Now, Pete, during our last podcasting project where we covered Mr. Beast's content library, Beast Pod Official.
I remember that.
You came clean with us one day. You were pretty honest and forthcoming about your personal life.
Yeah.
Opening up a window into a part of you that I thought was really brave for you to come forward about. You remember that moment?
Yeah, I came clean about the fact that I was actually editing at my full-time job, and it still is, editing for the YouTube channel Smosh. And I felt that maybe my loyalties were, getting muddied, editing for one major YouTube channel and commentating on another major YouTube channel, the biggest YouTube channel, Mr. Beast. And so I thought I should make my allegiances known, more public. I mean, what is this about me that has to do with you?
Well, Pete, I want to share that same level of honesty with you. For a little more than the past year, I've been working as a producer for Theo's podcast this past weekend.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense, because I was hearing his voice a lot around the apartment, and I always kind of was wondering what you were doing in your room.
Yeah. I was editing clips, episodes, what have you, but
wow.
I think I needed to come forward with that just because Haliey said that she thinks Theo is her long-lost brother.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel conflicted. I don't know if I can really talk about that. It feels like a line between a personal project of ours and work.
Yeah.
And I feel probably the same way you did with Smosh.
Okay.
My hands are a little tied.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fair for me to comment.
Okay. I mean, I can do the commenting on it then. So, I mean, Josh, he just said that Theo's his favorite guest that he's ever had. He just thinks he's super funny.
Which he is. Now, look, moving on, the Game Time ad with Chelsea. She had an incredible speaking role here. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, I did actually. And I also like the fact that, Chelsea talked about using the Game Time ad to get tickets to a Dodgers game. And Haliey was pretty receptive. That was interesting that she's kind of warmed up to the idea of supporting the Dodgers. She's talked before about supporting the Mets and their charitable efforts. I think she meant like their team. I mean, their team is just shit.
No, they're completely in the dumpster. And look, Dodgers, you want to talk baseball, it's got to be Dodgers.
It's got to be Dodgers. And I mean, I'm sure she watched the Dodgers smack the shit out of the Mets this last seison.
They obliterated them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a better word for it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, I think she'd have a lot more fun. They both would have a lot more fun at a Dodgers game.
Look, I don't know how much we have to rehash this.
Yeah.
The Dodgers kicked New York's ass is all.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
Yeah.
They kicked their ass.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we could say about it.
It was pretty plain and simple.
But, moving on, Chelsea kept going with the rapid fire questions. At one point, Josh actually called her out and got a little combatant.
Yeah, you did.
With her, right?
Yeah.
He said that rapid fire questions, hell, these are taking a while, huh?
Yeah.
He said something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but
he had a problem with her pacing, her tempo with these rapid fire questions, which, I mean, she lets a little bit of room to breathe. It's all subjective. I think, her style is a little more breezy and just, easygoing when it comes to these rapid fire questions. But, Josh had a little tiff about it.
But look, it's tricky. This is a gray area for me because on one hand, I do agree with Josh.
Yeah.
Right? They're rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I'm thinking of submachine gun.
Yeah.
Question, right?
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, Chelsea is waiting for responses from Haliey.
She's rocking more of a Barrett 50 cal.
She's going, single action, bolt action.
Yeah. Where it's just like, oh, that's just a standard interview at that point. Okay. I mean, I get that. It's a difference in opinion, I guess.
Right. But, I think maybe one way that they could be a little bit more rapid fire is maybe the answers are a little bit faster, Josh.
That's true.
I mean, if we're going to meander through explaining it, obviously she's going to have to wait a little bit to ask the next question. She's not going to cut him off and be rude.
He did take a bit of time explaining the first time he asked his girlfriend to be his girlfriend.
Around 2 minutes. So,
yeah.
Maybe if you could do that in 2 seconds, boom, you'll get your next question right then and there. She's got the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
She's ready to go.
Yeah. What else we got?
Well, she asked, who's the craziest celebrity to slide into your DMs?
That's right.
And Haliey's was Lil Baby sent her a cowboy emoji.
Yeah, it's he's saying, I'm from the South too. Or maybe he's just saying, I recognize that you're from the South. Like he recognized that Haliey's from Tennessee, that cowboy culture's, pretty analogous to Southern culture.
That could be it. I mean, for Josh, it was Camila Cabello.
Yes, the craziest celeb.
He was very tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, he played a little coy, but it was interesting. I got a big get for his DMs, and it got Haliey and Chelsea all like wondering what happened there, what happened behind the scenes. Chelsea asked for more details. She actually wanted to know other guests who actually were sliding into Josh's DMs to flirt with the pure intention of flirting, and Josh had to shut her down. He was like, Gabby's gonna see this. Like I don't want to be talking about other other guests or other celebs who've been flirting with me when I have a wonderful girlfriend out at church group right now.
Chelsea's next question was when she got a little cheeky and asked Josh, which one of your friends would you want to hook me up with? Which is her way of saying this guy that got free tickets to the game and a nice little stay at the Airbnb, he's out.
Yeah, he's on the down.
He's out of the picture.
I want a new guy.
But apparently Haliey posed this question for
That's right.
Chelsea. She influenced it. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, Haliey's trying to play matchmaker. Haliey, I guess, wrote this question, slipped it onto the cheat sheet, and, Chelsea fell for it.
Do you think that it was almost Haliey's way of saying Chelsea's past guy was a little too high maintenance?
I mean, I don't know. Haliey, maybe she was tired of paying for his tickets to the Tennessee games, but
that's one way to boot him.
It is. I don't know if Haliey had an eye on any of Josh's friends that she was like, oh, they'd be perfect for Chelsea, and she was hoping that Josh would just name them up front. He instead named his roommate Anthony, who Haliey went, who the F is that? She had no idea who this guy Anthony was. Josh had to fumble around in his phone to try to find a picture of Anthony. He doesn't have a picture on his phone, apparently, of his roommate, which is absurd. I mean, we have plenty of pictures together.
You're my lock screen, dude.
Yeah. And apparently Josh and Anthony don't have that same kind of roommate-ship. He had to go and check out Anthony's Instagram.
But did we ever see the photo?
We don't.
No.
We have no idea what this guy Anthony looks like.
So again, I don't know what the situation is with that. Maybe he was just looking to buy time. Maybe Anthony's already in a relationship.
Yeah, I would have loved a graphic pull-up. I mean, we've talked about this before.
They're not going to do it. I think the editing department on this, pretty bare bones.
Yeah.
Pretty skeleton operation, right? I mean, I think infamously there was that moment when they, it was with Jojo Siwa, where they were talking about SNL.
Yeah.
Her and SNL. And then
Jamie brought out this laptop.
He half-assedly threw it on the corner of the table, showed it to the girls. No graphic pull-up. We just saw the back of the computer. We kind of heard it.
Yeah. Well, so as Josh is fumbling with his phone, we cut to a Haliey ad. Interesting ad read pertaining to the general election, the presidential election on November 5th this past year, 2024.
And they called it.
Yeah.
They absolutely called it. They said Trump was going to be a blowout victory, and he was.
Yeah, a lot of people bet a lot of money on Trump winning, and I guess they won a lot of money. So that was exciting for anyone involved. And then...
Well, talking about money, Haliey bet $1,000 that she would beat Josh at poker, coming back from that ad read.
Yes. Yeah. That was interesting. There was a whole thing with poker talk, and I guess Josh is an avid poker player.
Makes sense. I mean, look, he's tight. He's close to his chest, right? He's a little tight-lipped. So I think he probably has an incredible bluff.
Yep.
This makes sense on Haliey's part, given the fact that, she's made big bets in the past. Last one with Jake about him beating Mike Tyson, and she would have to get a better tattoo. I don't know if he kind of forced her into that.
What do we make of Chelsea's question of the most embarrassing moment for Josh and Haliey? Josh's answer, and I thought this was really interesting. He said it was when his friends would airplay his Musical.lys on the classroom smartboard in school.
That's just downright humiliating.
Yeah, I cannot even imagine.
Sounds traumatizing. I mean, he's here today, so obviously he's worked past this, but I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Yeah. And then Haliey struggled to think of any embarrassing moments herself. And then,
It's going to happen on a podcast when you're thrown on the spot.
Yeah, she struggled. And then, they kept moving on because, Chelsea had to keep the questions rapid fire.
But right around here, we get to this pickup shot.
Yes.
Where, so there's kind of like a quote where Haliey says, he cracks me up. She's talking about this guy Steiny.
Yes, a poker player of Josh's.
Yeah, I'm not sure what significance he really has in the podcasting world, but she said...
In the card shark community.
Well, she said he cracks me up when I see his Instagram feed, and he's got and then it cuts.
Yes.
So now it cuts from a wide shot to a close-up, but she's entirely in a different... Her arms are different. She's seated differently. It was obviously a pickup shot, and she said, nice big booty girl on his bed. What do you think that cut was there? Do you think she said something else that was maybe a little too incriminating about this Steiny guy.
Could have been a bit
the first
explicit.
we're hearing of him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about Steiny's character. I don't want to judge based on what I don't know about him. I think probably maybe Steiny's team asked to have any kind of mention of him removed, or like anything that could have been incriminating removed.
Well, I'm sure Steiny's team gets final edit.
Yeah.
They probably looked over it and said, got to take that out, got to fix that.
And so we had a bit of a sloppy cut, and that's one of the few technically formal issues that we encountered in this episode.
Yeah. Well, around 31:09, guys, that's the timestamp for Josh calling out Chelsea for the rapid fire questions.
Then we get the next question of who said I love you first, or when did they first say I love you in their respective relationships, Haliey and Josh. We get the familiar story of Haliey drunkenly saying I love you. It seemed like it slipped out the first time. But then she also reveals that Pookie, when they made things official, boyfriend and girlfriend, Pookie said I love you first after that benchmark. So that was exciting.
That was incredible. I think right around this time, it was also revealed that Josh told Gabby that he loved her first. He said it just slipped out after a joke.
Yeah.
Right after that, we kind of transitioned into a Manscaped ad. Pretty standard stuff. Those ads are always phenomenal.
Yeah. They just really have figured out what they're doing there.
And then we came back with a real punch. It was one of Chelsea's rapid fires saying, what are people surprised about? And Josh said his height.
Yes.
He stood up and damn, that guy's tall.
Yeah, he is surprisingly tall. And Haliey was the one who asked him to stand up. I don't know if this was a bit of data collection for the Pookie app, to calibrate their systems. We know that they have that height requirement and height detection tool as a feature on that Pookie app. We have not tried trying it out because,
we're both in relationships.
We are both in relationships, and I think also we're a bit afraid. We are on the shorter side, and we might not be as respected on that app. So, it's a bit of...
I do feel it's a little bit discriminatory with height for short kings. We'll have to take some time to really do a deep dive on that later on.
But it was nice to see how tall Josh was. It was interesting.
It was. And I think the next moment to me was the watershed of the episode. Definitely was where Josh's conversationalism came out.
Yes.
He said he's into football, hockey, and basketball.
Yep. He said his top 3 sports are those. That's a phenomenal lineup.
I really wasn't expecting any of those, so I was kind of on the edge of my seat there.
Yeah. It was really nice to learn that angle of Josh's personality.
But it got really juicier when we learned that baseball isn't his thing.
Yes.
He said that.
Yeah, he said he's just, I guess growing up, his parents never got him into baseball because they didn't want him just sitting in the outfield, getting his pants all muddy and everything. And it wasn't his thing when he was age 4. Playing baseball just was not his thing.
But, this is just a testament to the medium of podcasting itself. This is why people tune into podcasts, right?
Yes.
You want to hear that kind of candid conversation. You're going to hear things that you would never know about someone, right?
Yep.
Kind of really just do deep dives into someone's psyche and pull out something like that. Wow. Top 3 sports right there. Damn.
Yeah, I never would have had him pegged for those 3.
No, and I always wonder with guys what their top 3 sports are. That's probably my second favorite question. My first one, do you have any pets?
Yes.
I'd love to know. I need to know.
I noticed they did not ask this episode. Did you find that, upsetting at all? It was a shakeup.
Haliey said she was nervous. Maybe some of those nerves honestly got in the way of her judgment.
Yeah. So we don't know if Josh has any pets. We don't know if he has any pets with Gabby. We learned that they don't live together. But if Josh had to estimate, he would say that Gabby spends 29 out of 30 days a month at his place. But I don't think they co-own any pets together. They don't formally live together.
Right. They do have that one day of separation.
Yeah. He says it's nice. He loves waking up and going to bed next to her.
And he's an independent guy. He said in the same breath as the sports thing that he knows how to do his own laundry.
Yes.
He said he likes to do it with Tide Pods.
Yes.
I think he's pretty self-sufficient. So, obviously Gabby's coming in and improving his life, but, he's a fully functioning adult. And I think he has really cool hobbies.
Yeah.
These sports.
Yeah. He loves to cook. He was really emphatic about cooking, and he
gave us 2 recipes.
Yeah.
Really stoked to maybe try one of those.
Yeah.
Out in our kitchen together.
Yeah, I'd love to.
We had a language barrier again with him around 38 minutes, 21 seconds when he was saying utes.
Yeah.
Or yules.
Yeah. Chelsea asked him about regional specific slang that the others might know, that everyone else in the room might not know. So coming from Toronto, I guess ute is a derogatory term for friends. You just kind of put them down. You sun them, he said, by calling someone a ute, and just a term for a youngin, someone who doesn't know better.
The language barrier was unreal. I thought he was talking about like monster trucks in Australia.
Oh.
Things that just do fucking hit and runs on kangaroos.
Oh.
Just leave them laying on the side of the road. A ute is like a souped up truck.
I didn't know that.
I think it's spelled UTE.
That's crazy.
But, that's just the language barrier, but that's cool because we get this, it's this melting pot of cultures.
It is.
That Haliey's cultivated.
And Haliey's guess at a slang that might trip him up was yonder.
Oh, yeah.
But he knew that immediately. He knew that right off the bat, excuse me.
That's a southern expression, right?
Yeah, right over yonder. He said, like right over there. And Haliey's like, oh, he knew that. She was surprised. And then she was trying to think of another word, another southern word or regional word that might trip him up. And off screen, the guest or the unknown woman throws out the word poochie banana.
Which is your cooter.
Yes. Haliey has coined this, or she's used it in, I think it was in the Whitney Cummings episode.
It's a Haliey-ism for sure.
It is. And it was crazy because, everything from this off-screen woman is captioned on screen. You get the text.
Yeah.
And whoever did the editing job needs to, pull out the dictionary here.
Again, it might just be one person. This is a very, very pulled back operation when it comes to the post-production.
Yes. We got to keep that in mind. But their spelling of it was punchy bana or something, I believe is how they interpreted.
They spelled it Punchibana. Punchibana, when it should have been spelled Poochiebanyana. Or, banana.
Oh, okay. I always wondered if it had maybe like a tilde, like a Spanish flair on it, because I had it kind of like a Poochiba, and with the tilde, ANA. So like banana, but with a banana.
I really do wish Gabby wasn't out with her church group. Maybe she could come in. It's almost Brazilian, don't you think?
Yeah. She could have offered some kind of insight there.
But moving on, the last lie Josh told was the next question, and he's squeaky clean. At least he says.
Yeah, according to Josh.
He said nothing. But then, we harken back to the beginning of the episode when he said he'd never watched this show, but he knew Whitney was on, so...
What gives, Josh?
All he's got to do is throw him a couple compliments, and they'll look the other direction, I guess.
Yeah. We also learned that he loves golf. He's a big golfer.
That was groundbreaking.
Yeah. So I guess that would be his his fourth top sport behind hockey, basketball, and football.
All involving some kind of ball.
Yeah.
Or thing,
Actually, I do wish he gave us some more clarification on the football of it all. Because coming from Canada, that's abroad, it's an international country. And I know football typically relates to soccer in most parts of the world.
Do you think he was talking about more rugby or more like the foot, like kicking the ball?
Yeah, I don't know. And I guess he's still a bit of a mystery man to him. I guess we'll have to listen to more of his podcast appearances to.
No, I was a little shocked because I thought he was going to bring up like wrestling.
Yeah,
he's a big fan of Plato and Socrates. Think about the Greek heyday, right?
Yeah,
a testament of strength. Not every sport involves balls.
That's true.
You could also say something more ballerina-esque.
Yeah,
gymnastics.
Just man-to-man grappling. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he appreciates wrestling. He seems like he's really into sports, but he loves golf. He did say that.
Now, he gets a little cheery, saying that he was excited to come on the show as his biggest lie. So, they posed that question. He said nothing. He was trying to think of something, and then he said, actually, it was me being excited to come on the show. He kind of throws it off as a little dig at them. Obviously, he meant it in a sarcastic way.
Yeah.
They kind of catch him on these. Like, I was just kidding.
Yeah.
What did you make of that moment?
It was sloppy work from him. I mean, tried weaseling out of a tough question. Tried stiff-arming his way out.
No flattery this time, though.
Yeah. I mean, and Haliey kind of called him out on it, but, she let him slide.
Well, around 42, that was the golf bombshell. Next up with the hot take. This was incredible.
Yes.
Josh said that milk goes amazing with pizza.
Yep. That's a culinary hot take if I've ever heard one. He's drinking like white milk, he said. I don't know if this is whole, 2% skim, what it is, what have you. But he said it just goes great with pizza. And I don't know what kind of pizza, Neapolitan, deep dish, Detroit style. I don't know.
Right. I mean...
But maybe he'll drink it in anyway and eat it in anyway.
He's got to give these gals a day off, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of cheese, a lot of dairy.
But Haliey said she wasn't into hot takes.
Yeah.
I found that equally as earth-shattering.
Yeah. She said it's not really her thing. She doesn't think about the world in that way. She's more of like a easygoing, like not everything has to be like a groundbreaking, controversial opinion.
She's casual, right?
Yeah.
She's kind of reading the energy, constantly reconfiguring it in the room. And then Josh added on, he was like, maybe you're against handicapped parking spaces. Just throwing it out there. We didn't get an answer from Haliey. I don't know if that's the libertarian in her coming out. I don't know what that could be.
Yeah, keep in mind she never offered her opinion on the flat earth theory or the round earth theory that Pookie posited in episode 10.
She doesn't get that political, but the thing is, she said that she wouldn't be opposed to, a run at the White House.
Yeah. She has her slogan ready to go about 2-ply toilet paper for everyone. She's pretty passionate about that issue. And then at 45 minutes, did you notice the auditioning actress behind Chelsea takes a dramatic step forward?
Yeah.
Through the glass pane, we see this.
Back to her one.
Yeah, we see this actress, performing some blocking. I mean, I don't know if the director or the casting director asked her to try blocking within the scene more.
Maybe she was improvising.
It's possible. Excuse me for my cough, by the way. I mean, I think both of us are coming down from colds. It's been
we both had typhoid fever for the last week. I'm convinced that's what it is.
It's been a bit of a hairy week for us.
It's the most sick I've ever been. It's so up and down. The minute it's dark outside, I get like chills and convulsions.
Yeah.
It's almost like Nosferatu-esque.
Yeah, mine's been a little milder.
I take a Benadryl and I just hear
That's terrifying. Well,
it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, my runny nose has been a real pain, and now I have this cough, but we're getting through it.
Well, Josh kind of blew Haliey's mind when he said that Canada has prime ministers and also that they have provinces and not states. She was kind of unaware about that, but again, I think this is kind of like the Plato-Socrates thing. It doesn't really matter because Trump might buy Canada.
Yeah, it's like, how do you like them provinces now?
Now, Josh kind of clapped back at Haliey after that, saying that someone needs to educate her.
Yeah,
I found that very untasteful.
Yeah, it's Josh with all his pedagogical fucking conjecturing. I just like first he's trying to force Plato and Socrates, and now he's all about educating.
Right.
And I'm just like, you learn through interviews, and that's exactly what Haliey's doing. She's asking questions about the world around her. She's inviting guests in to do just that.
I also think the more I watch the show, maybe Haliey is just more of an anarchist. Mm-hmm. She's all into cooperation.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it is. I don't think she really believes maybe even in countries.
Yeah.
I don't think she cares.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, what a foreign concept. Yeah. I mean, how long has the United States been around?
248 years.
And how long has the Earth been around?
Long
a couple
billions, right? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, this is really just not forever. I think a lot of people take stuff for granted, like the Plato-Socrates thing. They discovered voting. Really? You really think that's true? You really think no other culture discovered that?
Yeah.
Why do you think they got pinged for that?
I don't know. It's a lot of Western hegemony. A lot of this Western world has to be first and foremost to everything. It's bullshit.
Well, they definitely had the force to back it up, right?
Yeah, they did.
So, the statewide systems of oppression.
Yeah.
It started maybe with ancient Greece. I don't know. In the last Better Picks ad, it's revealed that Chelsea wants a black car in the future.
Yes.
I think that suits her.
A fast black car.
I mean, it's chic.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's novo. It's new money.
Yeah.
And
Haliey told her that if she puts her time into the Better app, she can 1,000 times her money. And that goes for anyone out there that if you're thinking of getting getting a nice shiny new car, you download the Better app and get up to 1,000 times your money. I mean, this seems like an incredible promotional window and a great time to get into the Better app.
Now, unwinding towards the end of the episode, Haliey says that she likes to order cheeseburgers at Mexican places.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
It's not usually my move, but I mean, if it's on the menu, they'll make it.
There is a great Mexican spot near us. I don't want to dox ourselves.
Okay.
But the cheeseburger is actually the best thing on the menu.
Okay.
It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
A man told me that one time. I didn't believe him.
I'm more of a burrito guy.
Right. Well, that's the thing is that, Haliey loves Taco Bell. Do they have a cheeseburger?
No, but Del Taco, Haliey, you're new to LA. Del Taco, it's a pretty regional Southwest chain. Check it out. They got cheeseburgers. I haven't tried it myself. I'm a burrito guy, but give it a try, Haliey.
And then Haliey also revealed she doesn't like Chinese food.
Yes. But
okay,
Josh loves it.
So again, this is this is where the fangs come out, right?
Yeah. He kind of exclaimed, "What?" He was kind of shocked. He was shocked. He couldn't believe that he ran into someone who doesn't like Chinese food because he could eat it every day, he says.
But, that was just incredible way to wrap up an awesome episode.
Yeah.
And overall, I loved it. I thought Josh was an incredible, again, conversationalist. I think there were times he was snippy.
Yeah.
And I think there were times he had to get spanked by Haliey.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it happens. There's nothing on him.
No.
This is every guest. We're very critical.
Yeah. And I think they were evenly matched because I think Haliey had her own snips and quips. But
I think there were a lot of nerves in the air. Yeah. Right. So I think they did the best job for the situation.
Yeah. And it was just great to see another member of the Barstool Sports Podcasting Network come on and get to know Haliey. Haliey get to know them.
I'd love for them to just have a rotating door of guests on Talk Tuah.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. Now, we're kind of getting towards the end of, we're a little backlogged.
Yeah.
So we still have the episode 9.
Yes.
And episode, I want to say 13 left to cover.
And look, I mean, episode 13 is a pretty pivotal one. It's scary because we don't know. We don't have episodes past that of Talk Tuah to cover. We don't know if season 2 is coming down the pipeline. It's quite possible now that we're in 2025 that Haliey will come back refreshed and ready to go with another batch of incredible episodes. But for now, we're just looking ahead to episodes 9 and 13.
That's right. And you know what? We have a lot of fun surprises.
Yeah.
Packed up. So even without the episodes, we have a lot of cool content that we're waiting to do.
It's true.
And, we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. Whether or not Haliey continues her show, what situation is. But, we've pivoted from Beast Pod to this.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have to pivot. Again, I've really fallen in love with Talk Tuah. But, I think we're excited from all the support. And
it's been so nice. Thank you so much to everyone who's been listening and watching. We could not do it without you, junior analysts. We love your insights in our comment sections, on our posts, and on YouTube. We hope you've been enjoying every episode so far, and we hope that you've been taking our insights and going back to the Talk Tuah episodes themselves to give those a rewatch and see what you learn on the second and third and fourth watches.
That's right. So, okay, guys. Check out episode 9 next week. Make sure you watch it before you watch our show, and then we will see you then.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Have a good week.